What's up? Welcome back to my channel, or for the first time if you're new, I'm Sylvan, and today I'm going to be reacting to Yidhari's character teaser, Hot Spring Siren. If the thumbnail is anything to go by, this is going to be, let's say, interesting. I honestly don't know what we're going to be getting into here, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, consider becoming a channel member if you want to support me just that little bit extra, and let's get into this.
This is a legend about sea monsters that's been told for generations.
Okay.
An eerie
Some folklore.
rainstorm.
Looks like we won't be sailing tonight.
Weird. The forecast never said anything about a storm.
A small,
I'm liking the
remote
visuals
town,
right here already.
Weird. Where's my compass?
and something that rose up from the abyss.
And I just bought myself a new extra large net.
Extra large net. What are you trying to catch? A sea monster?
Rumor 1, the sea monster only appears on stormy nights.
There's the sea monster.
Good evening. I seem to have lost something. Could you help me find it?
Oh my god, she is truly a just random monster.
They say the sea monster sees every secret this town hides.
Ah, found it.
And with that lore, she calls her kin from the darkness.
Okay.
This scene might be good material for my next apocalypse story.
Next apocalypse story? Okay. Good ol' author moment.
This isn't a snack. You can't eat it.
That is one of my limbs. No eating that.
Ouch! No biting.
So you mean it only shows up on rainy nights?
You mean like this
Two.
one?
The sea monster lurks in its lair,
Who are these people telling this story?
performing a secret ritual.
Hello? Public Safety Patrol? Anyone home?
God,
And
the way her
anyone who
tentacles are
dares
wrapped
approach
around her.
is turned away.
Oh, is it evening already?
Is anyone in?
That's when she shows her true face. No one dares look at it directly.
Sorry to bother. We've had reports of a sea monster sighting in the
Oh
area.
my god.
Pam, please not close!
This
Oh, whoops. Sorry, forgive me. Give me a moment.
public security officer cannot catch a
town?
break.
A sea monster. A ritual. Then what about this?
This is the most important rumor.
Okay.
The dark compass that leads to the sea monster.
Leads to the sea monster?
Shh. I can feel it. She's close.
Yep.
Close? You mean in the hot spring?
It just rained today. Legend says if you whisper her name into the compass, she'll...
There she is.
Well,
Give me
then,
my compass.
what is her name? I'd like to hear it too. Will you tell me?
Not even realizing it's her that's being talked about. Oh, that's goofy.
This little town really has a flair for spooky stories. Sea monster in a hot spring. I should use that in my next story.
God. And down she goes into the waters. God, that is just ridiculous. This is such a goofy little teaser. Really, the main thing it does a good job of, I would say, character-wise, is capturing the sort of, and generally just sort of weird and unique vibe that Yidhari has. But overall, looking at this, though I don't think necessarily there's too much true, like, character content to dig into here, do want to still look at it to see what I can find. We begin in what we learn is a hot spring with these two girls who have gotten their hands on Yidhari's compass somehow and are just sort of telling scary stories over it. The way they're sort of touching and holding it gives sort of the vibe of almost like a Ouija board, and how, you know, everyone's supposed to just sort of touch their hands to it and link with the spirits or whatever. That sort of is the vibe it's giving off, as the one tells the other of these rumors that have been told of a sea monster. And visually speaking, we already get some good visual stuff in the sense that the compass is being placed in the center of this circular spiral pattern, sort of aligning visually with the imagery of a tentacle. And as we transition into this first story, this first rumor, we have this really sort of painterly brushstroke style sky. All these purples and blues blending together to make this weird abstract sky. Only then for the mention of the rainstorm to have the rain come down and reveal this is merely the reflection of the water on the ground, showing us the sky through it. It's during this that we have this interesting contrast where pretty much everything else other than the sky is more conventionally and realistically, quote unquote, or at least in the normal style, drawn and shown. The sky maintains, largely speaking, this different, unique style. It does a good job of giving this almost otherworldly vibe to the entire story, whether it's supposed to represent that this is just a story, a rumor, a fictional telling of things, so not everything is quite real or detailed, or if it's supposed to be representing that something is wrong, something is off, more in that sort of eldritch vibe. Who's to say it could be doing both? But we have the introduction of Yidhari into her own teaser here as she is just sitting on the docks, wondering where her compass went. But as she's sitting there, these two fishermen notice her and sort of pause and freak out because they think she's a sea monster. It honestly makes me wonder how common more aquatic thyrans are, and in particular octopus thyrans. Obviously we haven't seen any prior to Yidhari, but for these people to freak out as much as they do, perhaps it's just the lighting, the circumstance. It's seemingly late at night, there's a storm, the one guy just brought up sea monsters, and then they see someone who seems like they've just climbed out of the water and they have tentacles and everything. Maybe their imaginations just got the best of them, or maybe on top of that, to exemplify it, maybe more aquatic thyrans like octopus thyrans are actually fairly uncommon as well, so it's not something that immediately their minds would go to. That's just speculation, possible though, but it's as they notice her that she notices them and says good evening. She herself is just being polite, saying hello. She doesn't realize the effect she's having of seeming like a potentially terrifying sea monster, which plays into what I was talking about earlier of this idea that she's a little bit airheaded, a bit detached from reality at times. To her, she's just sitting on the docks wondering where her compass went, but to these fishermen, she's a mysterious woman with tentacles coming out of her back that is sitting there on the docks in the middle of a storm and is at best mysterious, at worst some kind of monster. And nothing in this moment plays it up more than this shot, where she suddenly is behind them. She's holding almost sort of a lantern of sorts, being the thing that's just sort of on her belt, and her tentacles are looming over her and them now. She's lit in deep darkness, the only light being the flashing of lightning. They're playing up the sort of horror movie monster vibes on her, despite the fact that that really, I don't think, is her intention. She really is just asking for help to find her compass. And then we go to the next part, which the rumor here is actually sort of interesting. They say the sea monster sees every secret this town hides. And with that lore, she calls her kin from the darkness. Describing her knowing these secrets as a lure is what intrigues me here, because it very much sort of brings to mind for me sort of almost the idea of some kind of like sea witch, sea hag type creature. This monster who lies in the depths of the ocean but has untold amounts of knowledge that people are drawn to because they seek that knowledge only for that to be their doom as they are pulled down into the depths. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting off of this. But in contrast to these lines, we have the reality of the situation, which is just that Yidhari has found two cats which found her compass, which are now about to fight. At which point, though, she, for whatever reason, looking at these two cats fighting over her compass, it seems, decides that this is good material for an apocalypse story. I don't necessarily get what the connection there is, but it does tie in her being a writer into this as an aspect. And as she's writing this down, the cats stop fighting as they notice her tentacles, and she then realizes that they're eyeing her hungrily. She tells them, no, that's not food, that's not a snack, you can't eat my tentacles. But then we reveal the glowing eyes of countless more cats that proceed to jump her, scratching and biting at her tentacles, thinking them to be just food. But then we move on to the next proper scenario, which is surrounding rumor 2, which is that this sea monster that Yidhari has unintentionally built this rumor around lurks in its lair performing a secret ritual. What is that ritual? Why, it's huddling up in your bedroom, drinking some wine, and watching TV, it would seem. Interestingly enough, we also can see here that she has several cats with her here. Perhaps they are meant to be the cats from the previous scene, but either way, it shows that she is very much a cat person. Either that, or she just inadvertently draws cats to her because of her tentacles, which is just sort of a cute detail. Okay, and more accurately, she's not necessarily watching TV, but she is on her laptop, presumably watching or reading something, because that is not the posture of someone who's typing on a computer. That is someone who is drunk, tired, huddled up, just as comfy as can be, wrapped around herself quite literally, just vibing. But continuing the rumor, it gets into this idea that anyone who intrudes upon her lair is pushed away, and if they continue to persist, will see her true face, as they put it. And what is that true face? That thing that nobody dares look at? It's her naked. She's drunk and tired enough and just inherently enough of a sort of distracted, airheaded person to answer the door to her apartment naked, which gives us this utterly insane shot of one of her tentacles wrapped around her leg, and between her legs, we see out of her door at this poor PubSec officer, which we haven't seen since the Jane teaser. This girl cannot catch a break. Intentionally or otherwise, women are practically throwing themselves at her, and she does not know how to handle it. But what also is funny about this is bringing everything full circle. The reason she's here on this sort of patrol, making sure everyone's okay, is because there have been reportings of a sea monster, which, believe it or not, she is that very sea monster. And as we see here, she is truly not at all perturbed or embarrassed about the fact that she opened her front door naked. Whether it's because she's drunk or whatever, she just doesn't even process that as something to be embarrassed about. She just realizes that she should be dressed. But with these two rumors out of the way, we finally revealed the most important rumor. The one about the compass. Supposedly a dark compass that leads to the sea monster. Or would it be more apt to say that it brings the sea monster to it, as in reality, it is just an item that once again has been lost by Yidhari. The compass actually, in this case, serves very well to show her sort of oblivious, airheaded, forgetful nature by the fact that she seemingly has lost her compass twice in this one teaser alone. Because the only other explanation for how they got the compass is if they just found it and took it, which would be a wild thing to do. And throughout all of this, the one girl telling the story has always been collected and sort of enjoying telling this scary story, while the other one has been freaked out. But as soon as she's about to sort of get to the climax of the story of like, she'll even show up now if we say her name, classic sort of spooky ghost story stuff, she realizes that a tentacle has reached out to the compass. They are not alone. Only for them to realize that Yidhari is there with them, the sea monster is there with them. And they, with this shot, do a good job of giving sort of this idea of this sea monster that is unimaginably large, in the sense that we have her tentacles sprawling out from under the water on all sides. Though her main body is just that of a normal woman, the fact that we don't see her lower half and that there are these tentacles wrapping around her and coming out on the opposite side of the water leads to the question of what else lurks below. The very classic Lovecraftian eldritch vibe. Perfect for the sea monster scary story vibe that she is unintentionally giving off. But this once again serves in complete contrast to what she actually is thinking and saying, because she doesn't realize that this story is about her. She's just like, oh, cool, a spooky story. Could you tell me about it? Maybe it'll inspire some of my own writing. Where to these two girls, they almost certainly are like, oh shit, she heard us talking about her. Oh no. That's pretty much all there really is to the teaser. It's fun, it's goofy. Doesn't really give us too much more about her as a character, but is fun nonetheless. With that, I don't really have too much more to say about it, so feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment on your thoughts, and very special thanks to all my channel members, being Desaize and Pokelove101 at the normal tier, and Kondo Nano at the cool person tier. Really appreciate your support, as always, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.